Bug types are some of the worst Pokemon in the game. What are there, like 10 bugs that actually make their way into the top tier of competitive play? And honestly, Generations 1 and 2 had some of the worst. Look at these things. Their stats alone barely compared to that of Magikarp. Couple that with their high encounter rates and any trip through the forest becomes an absolute nightmare. There has to be at least one that stands out from this heaping pile of crap, and we all know which ones definitely do not. Let's find out which OG bug can actually claim its spot as king shit on Turnbound. Scyther, Pinsir, and Heracross are the quintessential top tier bugs from Generations 1 and 2. With a stat total of 500 each, these Pokemon are actually pretty dang good. Their stats do differ slightly, as Pinsir and Heracross tend to favor attack, whereas Scyther tends to favor speed instead. Sure, they all carry the bug typing, but Pinsir stands alone as the only true OG bug type here. Scyther has the secondary flying type, which means it's going to be quad weak to slingshots. And Heracross, on the other hand, has the secondary fighting type, which means it's going to be quad weak to birds of all things. But at least this quad weakness is offset by an outstanding stab move pool, right? Wrong. Look at this moveset. Scyther has a grand total of 3 stab moves. We won't be learning a single stab move until Wing Attack at level 26, and then it won't learn another until Fury Cutter all the way to level 46. What, did Bugsy show the world that Fury Cutter was so overpowered the Game Freak had to put it at level 46 for Scyther? And by TM, its only real useful move is Aerial Ace, and the rest of the choices here are just trash. Heracross is at least gifted with a solid level up learn set, as it has access to Brick Break early on at level 23. But the only bug move it can learn is Mega Horn, and that's all the way at level 53. By TM, it can learn Focus Punch, but with its chance to be flinched by any attack, it's pretty much useless. And looking at our first 3 starters, wait, none of these are bug types. Although you do seem a little bit sus. Hold on. There, that's better. With our new trio of misfits in our possession, we can finally begin our adventure. We're not even 5 steps out the door when a glaring hurdle bears its face. With its quad weakness to rock, Scyther will have to be strategic if it hopes not to be buried under 6 feet of stone. Pinsir, on the other hand, can at least learn Seismic Toss early on, and Heracross only takes neutral damage from rock types. So these two should really just breeze right through this one. Rock's team only consists of Geodude and Onix, but these are defensive tanks. Luckily, only Onix has access to rock type moves, so Geodude is mostly there to just stall and allow us to set up. With no special moves to choose from early on, this is actually going to be quite a bit of a challenge. How can I get past Brock without falling way behind with Scyther right off the bat? That's it. On Route 22, we can find ourselves some Mankey encounters. Why does this matter? Well, upon defeat, this will gift our Pokemon with attack EVs. If I can get our attack high enough, we might be able to just brute force our way through the gym with a little crit hit luck on our side. After spending a little bit too much time slapping around the local monkey populations, I make my way to the Viridian Forest where I take the time to decimate the local bug population instead. Yeah, I'll show you who the real bug is here. You all disgust me. And now a quick word from our sponsor, Raid Shadowbugs. After committing some bug genocide, we had built up our defense EVs to the point where I was comfortable taking on Brock for the first time. Okay, Scyther, you know focus power, so all you need to do is just crit hit your way to victory. Alright, you got this. Okay, I'm not gonna lie here, he got us good in the first half, but now it's your turn to shine. Okay, on second thought, we might have to give this some more time. Despite Rock Tomb only being 85 accuracy, this thing was landing time and time again. Luckily, my other bugs will actually have access to this move upon receiving the TM, and there is no way that they won't have this type of luck later on. While Scyther just heads back into the forest to destroy more of its own kind, let's catch up with the others. Wait, hold up. Heracross, you have the secondary fighting type. What the heck are you doing? So despite being part fighting type, we actually don't have any access to fighting type moves at this point? Huh. Well, then use Leer, then hit it. Oh boy. Okay, so despite using Leer, Onix's high defense was walling us as Horn Attack was doing next to nothing. The first 2 attempts result in Heracross being buried under a pile of rubble, but it all eventually pays off as Horn Attack finally takes it out on attempt number 3. What can I say? It was a flawless victory. Pinsir, on the other hand, was making Brock look like an absolute joke. Thanks to learning Seismic Toss at level 13, Pinsir is able to take down Onix while the Stone Snake wastes his time missing Rock Tombs. Psh, who misses Rock Tombs, you noob? And that's an easy badge number 1 under the belt, just 12 minutes into this run. While Scyther is still busy grinding up more levels, Pinsir's moving on through Mount Moon and onto Cerulean City, which is the location of the next gym of our challenge. Misty, hot, has a team of Staryu and Starmie, which shouldn't be too much of a threat. With Starmie's access to Water Pulse, I instead decided to put on a few more levels before actually taking her on. Oh, you again? Do you remember what happened last time I faced off? Do you really want? Boom. Easy victory and totally on the first attempt. Wait, what are all these kids doing here? Where are your parents? And how did you get all this money to gamble away on animal fights? What, was it from these bootleg nuggets of gold? Go home, you filthy animals. After throwing this random picnicker aside and stealing his TM for secret power, I make my way into this innocent seaside cottage.
I can explain.
Remember how I just mentioned the TM for secret power? Well, this is no normal attack. This move gains a secondary effect depending on where the battle is actually taking place. Thanks to being indoors, we now have the chance to paralyze the opposing Pokemon 30% of the time. Or, apparently if you're Pinsir, 100% of the time. What an absolute legend. Once Staryu and Starmie are paralyzed, the outcome of this battle is sealed as Pinsir finishes them off with a couple more blows. That's already 2 badges under our belt. About 10 minutes behind Pinsir is Heracross, who after witnessing the sacrilege happening to the north, was ready to take on the gym for itself. At level 22, Heracross is a beast. With these extra levels, Starmie goes down to only 2 shots from secret power this time around. These 2 just breeze through Misty's gym. But where is Scyther at this point? After leaving behind a pile of chitin and returning at level 16, Scyther was finally ready for revenge. With the increased crit chance thanks to focus energy, Pursuit was more than enough to power through this battle without any luck whatsoever. Perfect. Scyther arrives to Cerulean City only minutes behind Heracross before— Whoa. Wait, I almost forgot to tell you which fossil I took. But before I do, let me know which fossil you would have taken in this situation. Like for the Dome fossil, subscribe for the Helix fossil, or leave a comment below saying how I stole this bit from a dry bread and to come up with my own material. And of course, I chose the Helix fossil. All hail Lord Dome. Back at Cerulean City, Scyther has admittedly struggled a bit, but now has made its way through the Nugget Bridge and into Misty's gym. This was yet another slaughter fest. All the way at level 24, Scyther combines the power of randomness and brute strength to easily sweep through Misty's entire team while only taking 16 damage in the process. Sure, it may be 13 minutes behind Pinsir at this point, but things are looking up, so long as a certain electric-type trainer doesn't pose any real problems in the near future. In Vermilion City, I take the time to speak to the fan club director who—
Long ago, when the pyramids were—
Dude, wrong anime. Okay, I've heard enough. After stealing his free bike voucher, I sneak my way onto this luxury cruise liner where my rival immediately rats me out to the crew members. Dude, just let me have some fun for once. Despite having sand and smoke thrown in its eyes, Scyther flails around randomly and lands 5 straight wing attacks to defeat our rival without taking a single point of damage. From there, we head into the captain's quarters where— Oh, you son of a bitch. We all know that birds are highly conductive to electricity, and thanks to Scyther's secondary flying type, Lieutenant Surge could actually be a threat this time around. Scyther is already way over leveled for this point of the game, so I'm just gonna have to go for it and just see how many more levels I'll need to put up. Oh. Never mind. Still a few minutes ahead of Scyther is Heracross, whose newfound ability to throw rocks means it can decimate a rival's team in no time flat. Despite having Dig in this moveset, Heracross is not the king of strategy, but instead goes full Chad mode as it uses secret power to defeat all of Surge's army with ease. With Surge out of the way, we run into our next hurdle of the challenge. As with every playthrough of this game, I still refuse to pick up the HM for Flash. But you would think that after this many playthroughs, I wouldn't run into these unnecessary trainers. But of course, that's not the case. After playing a quick game of Find the Nearest Wall, I finally make my way out and onto the other side. Erika's team of grass Pokemon is up next, and thanks to sporing a team of bug Pokemon, this should be easy, right? What's that? They have a grand total of 0 bug moves at this moment? Well, that's inconvenient. Well, if we can't win through the use of stab boost and super effective moves, then we'll have to do the next best thing. Take a bunch of drugs. Itching for another hit, I spend every last cent I had before force feeding my bugs what I assume to be a toxic amount of vitamins. With the team upgraded from Chad to Giga Chad, it was time to take on Erika for the first time. One glaring issue stands out here though, and that's the use of Stun Spore. Sure, I could just give my Pokemon a berry to heal it from paralysis, but the decreased speed from paralysis still remains through the rest of the battle. Do you think a little paralysis will stop a Giga Chad though? Absolutely not. Thanks to the consumption of all those illicit substances, Secret Power wipes the floor with Erika's entire team, absolutely decimating each and every one of her Pokemon. With Erika out of the way, we have finally reached the halfway point of the challenge. Only a mere 3 minutes behind Heracross at this point is Scyther. Sure, it doesn't have bug type moves to use, but you know what it does have? More drugs. Oh, and the stab boosted super effective aerial ace. With this much destruction, it's no wonder the plants are just terrified of this creature. Please drop some F's in the comments for all of our fallen plants. Erika's gym has proven to be an absolute joke, but everyone's favorite team of misfits is up next. No, Team Star, it's not you, okay? Wait your turn. Team Rocket is up next. As our friends enter the game corner to deal with this huge waste of time, let's catch up with Pinsir to see how things are going. Whoa. Okay, hold up. I think we might have missed something here. Alright, let's go back a little bit here. So there's Erika's gym, there's the rock tunnel, back all the way in. There we go, Surge. Like our other friends, Pinsir too struggled with their rival on the SSN. It turns out that bugs are still not a fan of fire. Who would have guessed? After contributing to what some people consider a delicacy, we finally persevere on our third attempt. Despite being 3 levels lower than Scyther at this point, Pinsir has no issue at all taking on Surge and his team of electric Pokemon. After only a minute or so, Pinsir earns itself the easiest badge yet. Before we can take on Erika, we have something really important to take care of. Shh. No one will ever know. Now overdosed on creatine and testosterone, Pinsir was ready to take on Erika for the first time. Throwing all strategies to the wind, Pinsir decides to go for the Giga Chad route by going for focus energy on turn 1 before resorting to secret power for the remainder of the battle. Despite being paralyzed due to its excessive muscles snapping its vertebrae, Pinsir perseveres and finishes a whole 10 minutes ahead of the others. For the others, Giovanni's team of ground and rock Pokemon might be an issue. Despite not being a fighting type, Pinsir's access to fighting moves will make all the difference here. Giovanni's Onix, Rhyhorn, and Kangaskhan don't even manage to land a single blow before they each go down. Man, you are pathetic, and I can't wait to destroy you later on. After sneaking my way through the 7th floor Sylph Company to grab the TM for bulk up, I head east towards Cycling Road, which will take us to the next gym of our journey. But blocking the way there is this tub of lard. It will only move upon hearing the best Pokefood player that's ever lived. Luckily for us, we've already traversed through the Lavender Tower to save Mr. Fuji, who taught us a song that should do the trick. Profusely bleeding from the ears, Snorlax flees and we now have access to Cycling Road. Before heading there, I grabbed the leftovers from Oak's aid, and these will play a huge role in the remainder of this challenge. I also replaced Focus Power with Bulk Up, which will make a huge difference with our largely physical moveset. You would think Koga's team would be difficult, and most of the time they are. But this guy literally ditches his entire team when he gets promoted to the Elite Four. If he's not going to treat them with respect, I'm not going to either. After using Bulk Up to maximize my attack and defense, Secret Power has gone from 70 base power all the way up to 280. With this much firepower, nothing can stop these guns. Pinsir lays the smackdown on each and every one of Koga's Pokemon. This Bulk Up strategy works surprisingly well against Koga, but I might have to switch it up going through the next couple battles. Yeah, you know what? If it ain't broken, let's not fix it. This Bulk Up strat might just be the way to go. Both the Sylph rival and Giovanni are annihilated by Pinsir's might, and you know damn well that Sabrina's team is not going to be any different. With her team being exceptionally frail to physical attacks thanks to their low defense, a few Bulk Ups should be more than enough to bury her Pokemon 6 feet under. I don't even bother to set up on Kadabra, who's an easy one-shot with Secret Power anyways. Venomoth at least allows us some time to set up with Bulk Ups, so after a few more seconds, our job here was done, and that's 5 batches down. Not far behind Pinsir now is Scyther, who's actually been doing exceptionally well while we've been away. Despite not having access to a wide variety of attacking moves, Scyther does have one key move it can learn. At level 36, Scyther learns Swords Dance, which will increase our attack by 2 stages. This means less time setting up and more time laying down the hammer on our enemies. Even Giovanni's rock types stand no chance whatsoever. Ignore the fact that I'm 11 levels higher than the majority of his team, okay? That's irrelevant. After adding a few more names to the list of Pokemon that our rival needs to visit at Lavender Tower, we can rescue Mr. Fuji, who teaches us a slightly different song this time around. Scyther and Heracross actually arrive at Koga's gym around the same time. Koga leads off with Coughing, who likes to be a real pain in my ass. With access to Toxic, I don't have much time to set up before my Pokemon start to take some major damage. To avoid this, I arrive at this battle pre-poisoned with Heracross. The poison damage here will not increase the longer it goes, therefore allowing more time to use Bulk Up throughout this battle. Scyther, on the other hand, doesn't need that much time to set up, so despite being hit by Toxic on turn 1, Swords Dance plus Aerial Ace is able to take out Coughing right away. Another Swords Dance against Muck gives us another boost as it just goes for minimize anyways. Thanks to the inability to miss with Aerial Ace, this makes no difference whatsoever. At plus 4 attack, Scyther has more than enough power to wipe through the remainder of Koga's team with ease. Things were not going as well for Heracross. An unlucky crit hit from Sludge leads to another early reset in this battle. Perhaps I can get by with a couple less Bulk Ups this next time around. This attempt actually goes much better, as we arrive at Weezing with low health remaining. At least we outspeed here, so Secret Power will be more than enough to... Oh boy. But at least we outspeed here, so a single Secret Power will be more than enough to take it out. See? Flawless. Despite its loss to Koga, Heracross is still way ahead in the resets category. Thanks to its moveset, it has a pretty big advantage over the other 2 contenders. Up to this point, our rival hasn't posed much of a threat, so with the power of strategy on my side, I head straight into Sylph to take him on again. There is no doubt in my mind that Heracross will lose to Execute. Wait, what? Okay, like I was saying, Heracross will wipe through his team. Oh, come on. After 6 straight losses and storing a couple rare candies, Heracross is finally able to get the +6 attack against Alakazam, which allows Secret Power to drop his Fire Lizard on the next turn. This was a huge waste of time, and despite making quick work of Sabrina, Heracross is well behind Pinsir at this point. Over 20 minutes ahead, Pinsir has already traversed through the Pokemon Mansion and is making plans to take on the man insane enough to lock all of his employees in a building from the outside, with only a hidden key to save him. Normal things, right? As we've seen previously, bugs and fire do not mix. Fun fact, that's not going to change now. Looking at our moveset, Dig is the only viable option here. But without being able to bulk up through the fight means that Dig won't be able to one-shot his big fire doggo. If I can't one-shot Arcanine, there is no way Pinsir's going to make it through another Fire Blast. But then it occurred to me, with leftovers, we may be able to recover enough health to withstand a couple of Fire Blasts throughout this battle. But how? Looking at Pinsir's learn set, there is one move that actually stands out, and that's Protect. Using Protect plus Dig allows Pinsir to recover health on 2 straight turns. With this big brain strategy play, Pinsir might be able to bulk up to the point where it can actually one-shot Arcanine for the victory. After making the bold move to successfully protect on 2 straight turns, Ponyta also manages to miss a Fire Blast. Sure, this move is only 70 accuracy, but I am always surprised when it misses. After a couple more turns of bulk up, and realizing that if Fire Blast would have landed, we would have been wiped, Pinsir was juiced up enough to dig the remainder of Blaine's team into oblivion to earn us the 7th badge of our journey. Scyther, on the other hand, needs a bit more strategy to take this one on. Without access to Dig, we don't have enough time to recover HP between attacks. Sure, with Swords Dance, we only need 3 turns to max out our attack, but the likelihood of surviving 2 Fire Blasts is basically 0. If only there was a way to nerf the power of Fire Blast. Well, there is. Luckily on Route 15, there's a TM that does just that. By teaching Scyther Rain Dance, we're able to effectively cut the damage of fire moves in half. Using this strategy, Scyther should now be able to withstand numerous shots from Growlithe's Fire Blast, therefore allowing us to buff our attack to the max with Swords Dance. Huh. Well, didn't see that one coming. Slick move, old man. As I switch back into Scyther, I now need to restart at square one. I set up the rain yet again, as Growlithe forgets that we're actually weak to fire and it just goes for takedown instead. Going for +6 attack yet again might result in Growlithe howling Scyther out yet again, so I settled on +4 attack instead. This is more than enough for Growlithe, Ponyta, and Rapidash, but after an Intimidate from Arcanine, will it still be enough? Absolutely. One more shot drops the Fire Doggo with a single shot to earn us probably the most difficult victory of this challenge. Heracross, with its slightly higher special defense, actually didn't struggle that much this time around. It somehow manages to sweep Blaine's entire team on the first attempt. Well, I'm not going to argue that. With the other 7 gyms out of the way, there's only 1 gym remaining. Oh, who would have guessed? It's Giovanni. No way. Yeah, this man has not been an issue before, and you can bet your ass that he's not going to start now. All 3 bugs are around level 50 at this point, so when it comes to what level they're going to all finish at, this race is actually surprisingly close. Both Heracross and Pinsir have Dig in their moveset, which is pretty much all that's needed to decimate his entire team. Despite having no access to Dig, we've added Steel Wing to the moveset instead. With this, Scyther has no issue with Giovanni's Rhyhorns, and a couple of Swords Dance boosted Aerial Aces was enough to sweep through the remainder of his team. Sure, this might have been the easiest badge yet, but the most difficult part is yet to come. After all the pain and suffering that we've put our rival through up until this point, he had nothing but revenge on his mind. Both his Pidgeot and Charizard have super effective moves against all 3 of our bugs. Yeah, I think we're gonna need some luck on our side this time around. Yep, and that was not it. Just when I thought that all hope was lost, RNGesus returns to give us the hope that we were looking for. With +4 attack, Pidgeot and Rhyhorn go down to a single shot. Then out comes everyone's favorite Fire Lizard. If we don't take this one out here, this battle's over yet again. Scyther, you absolute legend! With Charizard out of the way, the remainder of his team was a breeze. With only 12 resets on the scoreboard so far, Scyther is the first to arrive at the Indigo Plateau. Not far behind is Pinsir, who's finally learned how to play the swords like Scyther, which may make a big difference going forward. Thanks to his higher defense, Pinsir's able to withstand the shot from Pidgeot without much issue, allowing it to get off 2 Swords Dances before taking it out. Rhyhorn won't be much of an issue, so I need to get 1 more Swords Dance off if I hope to take out Charizard with just a single shot. Wait, no, you've gotta be kidding me, you son of a... Oh, thank God, plenty of health to spare. Rhyhorn eventually goes down, but then out comes Charizard yet again. Showing its true self, Pinsir fires off his secret power and lands another crit hit to take it out with a single shot. Thank you, RNGesus. The remainder of his team again is no threat here, so let's take a look to see how Heracross is doing here. Wait, Didn't this thing just have like 8 resets last time we checked? What the heck happened over the last couple minutes? Oh, I see. Okay, so what I've seen so far, as long as we don't get crit hit by Pidgeot, we avoid Alakazam altogether, and we actually manage to land a Rock Tomb on Charizard, this should be doable. We might have to pray to RNGesus as well, but we could save that for the desperate times. Finally, we have this attempt here where we manage to get past Pidgeot with plenty of health remaining. Alakazam does get off a Future Sight before going down, but then out comes Charizard. Not knowing how much damage Future Sight would do, I go for Protect to heal up a little bit with leftovers before it actually lands. The 95 accuracy Rock Tomb that feels a little bit more like a 5 accuracy Rock Tomb manages to land this time around and takes out Charizard with a single shot. Rhyhorn is an easy one shot with Earthquake, and Execute should be... Oh god, please no. Whew. With our rival finally finished, Heracross arrives at the Elite Four quite a ways behind Scyther at this point. Sure, Scyther is leading in time, but it is also tied with Heracross with only 12 resets. Slightly behind Scyther in time is Pinsir, who actually only has 7 resets up until this point and is only a few minutes behind of the lead. Hey Pinsir, how's your liver doing? Perfect. With a little special defense boost thanks to Zinc, let's see if we can actually withstand a few ice moves from Lorelei. Up first is Pinsir, who takes advantage of the questionable move choices from Lorelei, as it recovers nearly all of its health during the battle with Cloyster, who just insists on spamming Protect through the entire fight. Hey, that is my strategy, okay? Back off. With +6 attack up until this point, the remainder of Lorelei's team doesn't stand much of a chance. Pinsir proceeds to wipe through the remainder of her team without any issue whatsoever. Scyther on the other hand has a big weakness to ice, and living in the Midwest United States, I'm right there with you buddy. After force feeding it the last few candies I had in order to build up some fat for the winter, I head into battle at level 55. With a little RNG luck on our side, Dewgong only gets off a single Ice Beam before allowing Scyther to buff itself all the way to +6 attack, therefore allowing it to decimate Lorelei's entire team with a single shot each. It's too easy. With its high special defense, Heracross has a much easier time with this battle. At only level 52, it's able to withstand numerous blows from Dewgong while buffing its attack to the max. Once there, I call upon the power of tectonic forces to bring Lorelei's team to its knees and end the first challenge of the Elite Four with ease. Bruno and his team of fighting types are honestly a joke in nearly every run I do. Thanks to a secondary fighting type, Heracross doesn't struggle at all, as it wipes through Bruno's entire team while only taking minimal damage in the process. Rock Tomb may be able to deal some big damage to Scyther, but it just outspeeds Bruno's entire team and wipes them all with ease as well. Not only that, but it didn't even take a point of damage in the process. Pinsir actually has the most difficulty as Rock Tomb is dealing quite a bit of damage while dropping its speed in the process. But as we've all seen before, Bug trumps fighting, so I play my secret Pinsir card to destroy the remainder of his team before his eyes, and that's 2 down. Agatha's team consists of mostly Pokemon that are partially poison type, which should make Dig a viable option here. As I start stacking Swords Dances, I realize my mistake as Gengar begins spamming double teams. After buffing my attack to +6, I go for Dig, hoping to land a lucky shot. It's then that I realize my second mistake, the Levitate ability. With this, I won't be able to land a single ground attack, so now I'm stuck using the very inaccurate Rock Tomb. Having heard enough about how poor I was at aiming rocks, Pinsir goes off. It lands a shot on each Gengar to take it out with a single shot. Not only that, but to prove me wrong, it continues to land shot after shot until each of Agatha's Pokemon was turned into ghosts. Except for these ones, they were already ghosts. What happens to them? Do they just come back to life? What's worse? Agatha thinks that she can outsmart Scyther, but her big brain plays stand no chance at all against my own. After stacking a few Swords Dances, Scyther is able to obliterate her entire team with the unmissable Aerial Ace to hand us yet another easy win. Heracross on the other hand was struggling mightily. Remember how I said the Rock Tomb is only 5 accuracy? Well, Heracross made sure to show us just that. After missing way too many in a row, Gengar lands a Toxic, which effectively ends this battle right here. That's another reset. I chose to skip the use of Bulk Up the next time around, and the results are much the same. I was at least able to make it through Gengar this time, but Golbat proceeds to just drop it with a single Air Cutter soon after. Despite feeding Heracross the last of my rare candies, Air Cutter is still too much for us the next time around. Finally, thanks to getting off 3 Bulk Ups, Heracross is able to withstand a couple Air Cutters to allow Rock Tomb to finally finish it off. From there, the remainder of her team doesn't pose much of a threat, so we're finally moving on to the biggest liar of them all. Despite being mostly non-dragon types, Lance's team still poses a huge threat here, as most of them have access to flying type moves. Luckily, Gyarados is actually one that doesn't have access to any of these moves, which will allow us to actually set up plenty of bulk ups before moving on. Thanks to having both +6 attack and defense, we should be able to withstand quite a few shots now. Okay, as Flygon HG always says, we have to play around the crit here. So this time we do just that, as Heracross takes a wing attack with ease and drops the remainder of Lance's team without much issue whatsoever. Except for the last Dragonair. This one almost ruined it all. Heracross missed 4 straight Rock Tombs and is paralyzed numerous times before finally landing an Earthquake to take it out. Again, Rock Tomb is 95 accuracy, which means the chance of it missing 4 times in a row is 0.0000003. Yes, that is 7 zeros up front. That's insane. You know what can't miss? Aerial Ace. Thanks to its high base speed, and after buffing its attack to the max, Scyther is able to take out each of Lance's Pokemon with this single shot. Why can't all these battles be that easy? Pinsir, on the other hand, continues to show us why Rock Tomb is a terrible move choice. After being handed yet another loss, I used the remainder of our rare candies to bring it to level 56 before giving it another try. After finally realizing that it's actually supposed to hit the opponent with an attack, Pinsir is finally able to finish off the job. So now only the champion remains. As the champion comes up, I'm just going to skip any losses that happen along the way, and I'll just reveal the final resets and time at the end. Pinsir's up first, and I've had enough of Rock Tomb up until this point, so I instead go for strength for this battle. As Pidgeot comes out, I go for the usual route of buffing my attack with Swords Dance before Pidgeot lands his Sand attack. I choose just to take it out here to avoid the risk of our accuracy being lowered any further. This pays off as Rhydon misses a Rock Tomb of its own, allowing Pinsir to get off one more Swords Dance before proceeding to wipe through the remainder of his team without much issue despite the drop in accuracy. Hey kids, I think this run goes to show just how much fun it is to play with swords. Just kidding, don't do that. Okay, if that battle was that easy for Pinsir, this battle has to be that easy for Heracross too, right? After avoiding 2 straight high rolls from Aerial Ace this time around, Heracross is able to bulk up enough to finally make itself somewhat useful. Thankfully, Heracross spent some time playing with rocks while we were away, and it learned that actually hit the broadside of a barn. So it's able to take out Charizard with a single shot when it comes out. It then forgets everything it just learned as it proceeds to miss Exeggutor with numerous Rock Tombs in a row. After a painfully slow grind through his battle, Exeggutor finally goes down. Earthquake is more than enough to take out Rhydon, and Gyarados is dropped with a single Rock Tomb on the next turn to finally earn Heracross the victory. Scyther is now all that remains. The Swords Dance and Aerial Ace combination has been a stellar choice up until this point, and it should be more than enough to get us through this. The next time around, Pidgeot and Scyther go 1 for 1 in big brain plays until Scyther finally gains the upper hand by landing a +4 Aerial Ace. Rhydon stands no chance against the super effective Steel Wing, and even Charizard goes down to a single Aerial Ace. With that, victory is in sight as Scyther slashes his way through the remainder of our rivals' Pokemon, and we finally make our way into the Hall of Fame. As each Pokemon takes its rightful spot on the podium, one of these 3 will finally claim their spot at the top of the pecking order. In 3rd place is Heracross, who clocks in with an in-game time of 5 hours and 7 minutes and a real time of 2 hours and 2 minutes. A little ahead of Heracross is Pinsir, whose Chad style of gameplay gave it a bit of a boost, but still only checked in 14 minutes faster in game time and 8 minutes faster real time. Both of these 2 had 15 resets total, which is honestly worse than I thought it would have been. But what about Scyther? How did it do? Despite getting off to a much slower start, Scyther clocks in with an in-game time of 4 hours and 29 minutes, a real time of 1 hour and 38 minutes, and only 13 resets overall. Thanks to its high speed and attack, coupled with its inability to miss Aerial Ace, the strategic Scyther claims its spot as the top OG bug. Is this what you expected? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button on your way out, but until next time, I'll catch you on the next one.